But to look your enemy in the eye, knowing you'll remember his face for the rest of your life, now that takes a stomach much stronger than you'll ever have.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Gul Survives. Today I'm going to be taking you through a hopefully brief installation tutorial of Star Trek Armada 3. We've recently had to update the version because certain things changed within the game, so I thought now was an ideal opportunity just to go back through the installation tutorial and give you an up-to-date one, as of course things have changed since January 2018. We're now in we're towards the end of July 2018, and therefore things have changed a little bit since our latest version was released. The first thing you as a player, if you've got a fresh install of Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion, will want to do is to start Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion. The first thing that you will get, as you can see there, is a splash screen, which is your launcher. Now, you will note, next to play there's a little arrow pointing downwards, and there's something called Use DevXE. That is a toggleable option. You can see there's a tick there now. You don't want the tick to be on, so make sure that the tick isn't active. Once you've done that, you can simply press play. I can't say simply today. I tried this earlier and simply didn't happen. There we are. So Sins has started up. You can see that we are playing stock Sins at the moment. What you would need to do is press Options, go to Mods, and press Show Mod Path, and that'll tell you where your mods live and where you need to be extracting things to. In my case, it's C users, Gul Gaming, Documents, My Games, Ironclad Games, Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion, Mods Rebellion 1.85. So we can accept that and we can quit the game now because we know where our mods live. Let's navigate to the appropriate folder. My Games, Ironclad Games, Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion, and Mods Rebellion 1.85. There we go. We know we've got one mod in there at the moment, which is Agents of the Federation. The next thing that you will need to do is navigate to the Star Trek Armada 3 homepage. As you do, within the homepage there is a link to files. You can click on there, and there are two files that you'll need. You will need Star Trek Armada 3 Best of Both Worlds and Star Trek Armada 3 27th of July 2018 main menu hotfix, because as you can see, Garon is not pleased that his menu doesn't work. But it does work. You simply click on there and click download now, and it will download the version regardless of whether you are signed in or not. There we go. So once you've got your downloads, no matter where they are, I've got them here on this screen. We can open them to extract. There we go. And you'll... Oh, no, we want to go for this one, the Best of Both Worlds first. Now, the Best of Both Worlds, which is the large download that you have, that is a bit of a special case. So if we open the archive, you can see that we've got STA3 Best of Both Worlds Final Edition. This, ladies and gentlemen, and this is the important bit to take note of, is a container folder. This is not the folder that you will want to activate. If you double click on it, you will see that there are other folders inside. You have Core Nemesis, Module TFF, and an enabled mods.txt. In order to simply get the mod to work, you need Module TFF, STA3 Core Nemesis, and the enabled mods.txt. You don't need the Galaxy Forge, and these are two examples on how to play the game. Many multiplayer players will choose to play STA3 Core Nemesis only because it's a little bit more stable and it allows you to build more ships in a multiplayer environment without having any performance issues. Whereas TFF, which is a module that goes on top of Nemesis, that expands the universe fairly significantly and gives you a little bit more variety in there. That's very good for single player, but not so good for multiplayer because it's not quite as stable. If we press extract and go to the requisite correct folder, which is of course the folder that we looked at earlier, My Games, Ironclad Games, Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion, Mods Rebellion 1.85, and click OK on these files, you see it is noting that there is an enabled mods.txt already in here. Click yes to overwrite it. We're going to let this extract and then we'll come back to you once it's done. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the mod has finished extracting, as you can see here within our Mods Rebellion 1.85 folder. That's the kind of format that you'll have. You may be wondering why I haven't extracted the Galaxy Forge or these example enabled mods.txt. The reason for that in my case, is by virtue of the fact that I'll know how to set the enable mods.txt up anyway, regardless of whether I simply want Core Nemesis or I also want the TFF module. In addition to that, I don't need the Galaxy Forge right now. The Galaxy Forge is for players that want to create custom maps for themselves. So if that's something that you want to do, extract the Galaxy Forge by all means. There's a little guide in there. As you can see, we've got a readme on how to use, and we've also got specific GSD files, which are the things that you might need for it. So there we go. That is that's that. You don't need that. We can get out of this. Now the next thing that we want to do is, of course, we need to get the latest update, which is this. We will extract this also to the Mods Rebellion 1.85 root folder. Not into Nemesis, not into TFF, into the root folder of Mods Rebellion 1.85, because it's got its own folder name and it will merge. It'll ask us if we want to overwrite the main menu screen .window. We click yes please, and it's done. So theoretically what should happen now is the mod should be working. Let's check to see if that's the case. What we'll do is we'll go to our little Steam menu here. We will click on Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion. We'll once again get our launcher option and we'll press play. Now, if it's working, you should see a lovely little Federation splash screen, which is exactly what you're seeing. That would suggest to me that things are working as intended, which is always nice. Just wait for the mod to load up, which could take most of our adult lives. There we are. Our little intro dedicated to Chris Knight. We miss you, Chris. And there we have a working version of Star Trek Armada 3 for you to play as you will. Now you'll see that I'm in windowed mode and you probably won't be. I wouldn't concern yourself with that, that doesn't really matter. But we can see that it works. We can go to new games, we can go to tiny games, and we can choose all of our races, blah de blah de blah. So there we go. That is how you install Star Trek Armada 3 as of the 30th of July 2018. This may change in a future version, and if it does change, I will make you an updated installer. And I will be very, very sure to give you the date that that installer is active from. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I hope this has cleared up some of the confusion that a few people have had regarding the installation of Star Trek Armada 3. For now, this is the Gul out.